I had so much more planned today than this. Okay, we're on to the next day. In product, here's what we got. Cleaned up the rear gas tank. It's hot as hell right now. We fogged the inside of it with like an engine fogger and kind of gave it a nice little coating because we don't want any flash rusting happening inside of this. The new fuel pump is installed, wired up. This one was completely easier than that one. This took maybe 30 minutes. That one took forever. This one's complete. The brand new JEGS, done, complete. We saw this. The worst thing about it was the butt splices that Quantum sent. I could not get those things to work. They wouldn't grab, they didn't seal, and unfortunately I kept putting it in and then having to cut them out, and then luckily I still had some heat shrink style, but I'm completely out, so I need to put that on the shopping list. These are the original straps that went to the front tank. We're going to get these back in. They'll do. I do have new straps just in case that were $10 from JEGS as well. And also, these are the anti-squeak pieces that'll go around here for the rear. Now the rear straps are sitting, they're right underneath here. Let me get a set up here. I'm gonna start trying to put these gas tanks in. So getting to this, I have a dry fit run because both these straps in the front tanks are different sizes. One is shorter than the other. The short one will go in the front of the tank towards the cab. The longer is to the back to the rear. I had to dry fit that because it's been over a year since I pulled this. Couldn't remember, and as soon as I got underneath there, it was all foobarred. Okay, I got a dry fit. I'm gonna slide underneath, try to get everything attached. Okay, we're gonna pick up underneath the truck. Since we're doing this solo, we're gonna use my jack. We balance the gas tank. We're lifting it up slowly because we gotta not cinch it because we have to get our fuel lines back attached. We had to get the sending unit plugged back in, and we had to get that vent cinched back in there. That's the hose that's running over the side. That's a tricky one. Make sure you seat it all the way. It's going to want to kind of hang up with about 1/4 inch. It's got to go all the way down just like that. So we're plugged in, ready to plug in our 2 fuel lines. And you know there's going to be a gray and a blue one. The blue one is the larger size. It's going to go, blue goes here, gray to this one. You can tell by the ends, the sizes. Over here you can actually, on your 2 fittings, when you undid them you can tell. Once that's attached, we're going to jack it up a little bit. I have the straps ready to come up underneath. You can kind of see where it's notched out. We're going to come right across the back. We have to slide this skid plate over just a little bit. It keeps kind of popping off, but the strap will catch right here, and we're going right up. We ended up getting new hardware to that bolt. One there, and then we got one right there. Strap there, and we should be fairly close. The hardest part is going to be up top. You see my filler neck? I need to get that ushered down. I'm going to keep raising this up, and I got to get that around the neck of the gas tank and get the hose clamp tied down and still be able to put it up into the fuel tank door and get those 3 screws in. So that's a little update. It's taking longer than it should, just like everything else I ever do. And I'll come back hopefully whenever I get this thing completely set up. Okay, I have no idea how this camera view is going to come out. This was a nightmare. So I made a huge mistake ordering hardware. The 2 bolts that we needed to secure for the straps, I thought I ordered new hardware for this, okay, to go along with the new tank. These strap bolts versus the rear gas tank are probably 1.5 inches shorter. I sat here and fought this thinking I did something wrong, and it was pretty tough. There's the back one secured where this strap comes in, fit real nice here. The front one was a lot harder. One, because of the skid piece, it's almost like a little sleeve that slides on. it wants to keep backing off, and I'm assuming that's probably because this is an aftermarket tank, but I had to keep knocking it down because if you notice there is a special spot here for it to kick into and hold this on. This isn't perfect. It's as close as we could get it. I'm happy with that. This is cinched, torqued, and it's not going anywhere. It feels good. Backside we have up top, I'm assuming you can see it, our fuel pump sending unit is plugged in. I told you the vapor plug is in, and then we're gonna have to hang this cord somewhere. There's a clip right there. We'll just pick a spot and kind of get it out of the way. It's like the part of the vent tube. This was tough. The final spot that I don't even know is going to show up here. This is the filler neck right here. Comes up over the rail and into where you put your gas in. Under here there is a hose clamp that goes to the neck of the tank, and it comes over the rail, and you'll have, there's a hose clamp here and there's one up here. So what I think I did is this hose clamp is supposed to be right here. There's a little sleeve, like a tab, right in my face, that'll secure it in place. So I'm gonna leave this alone, and I'm gonna go buy another hose clamp, separate it, and I'm gonna tighten it up. I don't know if you can see it. The front and the rear tanks have this little tab that you need to hose clamp around for security. That'll be something we cannot forget to do. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. Just ended up taking down the last piece for the spare tire. That rod that I don't know if y'all remember, and that was the nut for it. I'm not going to put it back in, so I wanted to take it, hit it with some oil, spun it. Took a while. That was hard. Now we have free and clear access at all times to this rear gas tank. Showed this a minute ago. We're about to put this in. And so from LMC I bought anti-squeak material. If I'd have known, it's just sheets of rubber that they, what is that, like 16th inch rubber. We get this stuff all the time, so for the price I paid for these, I could have just bought a whole sheet. So hit this with some brake clean just to get it cleaned up, and I guess there was a chemical reaction because it stinks, but this is supposed to, okay, it's just right in here. I will give them, they did trim it short enough to be able to get to both bolt holes. We'll let this dry, let that one dry, and I'm gonna go ahead and try my best to get this gas tank in tonight, because I got a couple other things I want to try to do tomorrow before I go into work and don't have another day off for 2 months. Okay, here's our old hardware, here's our new stuff. The bolts for the front tank are probably that much longer, almost an inch longer. That's what was giving me fits. I thought that these were universal. Dumb me. So I ordered all this new. I hope this is good hardware, and I'm gonna go ahead and just rob the washers off and reuse those. So let's get underneath. We're gonna use the same technique. We'll get underneath here with the jack it up. That way I can get this vent put in. I'm trying to point at it somewhere over here, and then get those fuel lines. And on the other side, I have the electric, the socket. I'll bring back over and plug in. All right, let's see if we can do that. Oh, side note too, the filler neck tube, same thing. We have a completely loose lead over here, right? So we're gonna have to get that shuffled over to the neck, over this neck, and then we'll put the hose clamp back on it. And we're gonna have the same thing. We have two hose clamps. One of these, I believe it's this one. We'll have to clamp around this, and that's what's going to kind of, when this is installed, it sits in there like that, and that clamp will go up here. Okay, I'm not going to bring you for the grind, but I'm going to get this set up. So this ended up being a 3-day job. Day one I only did about half of it just because I was wiring in the fuel pumps you saw. Second day, I got the front tank mounted, and I thought that was going to be the hard one, so I tried to attack that first. This rear tank was a complete nightmare. It really kicked my butt. I worked on it last night until about 6. Came out here and I figured I'd just attack it this afternoon. It's now Sunday afternoon, a little after probably 4. I finished about an hour ago. I took a break to finish filming. So the hardest part about this tank was the filler neck. The trick is you have to basically lift the driver's side up enough while also supporting the passenger side. I use this 6x6 here to kind of give me a little bit of an angle, and then you have to wedge your arm in here enough to get a start on the filler neck. Meanwhile, you need to make sure that you're not disconnecting your sending unit. It was tough. I fought it and fought it. I don't think I can even tell you an easy way to get in there and do that. With that angle, I just had my arms in there, ended up going around to this side right off the frame and the leaf springs, and having to come over the top to put pressure on this, because this is solid, and it then feeds from the filler neck down. It's solid, then it feeds into this flexible hose here, which I say flexible, it's stiff as a board, but you're basically having to hold pressure by sliding this over. This is a 2-man job. This should be a 2-man job or a bed off type job. It was terrible. Now that everything's reconnected, cinched up, I'm gonna come in here. I need to put this hose clamp back to here. Looking up towards the filler neck, there's that sleeve we showed you. This will go up and around that, just like that. We'll tighten up this one as well. From there, it's the 3 screws in here at the gas tank. I really thought I'd have a lot done this weekend, to the point that I would maybe start doing some stuff on the engine. Nope. Hopefully I got everything wired in there right, because if it's not, I'm paying somebody to do this next time. And our new sending units, our new 255 LPH fuel pumps, brand new front gas tank, and then a cleaned out, well, let's hope it's clean, because there's a lot of grime in here, and then cleaned out, scrubbed down rear tank. Yeah, so guys, I'm sorry I didn't get more done on this video. I really thought I was going to start getting something done on that motor. This just kicked my butt. I learned a lot. Let's just hope everything works like it's supposed to. It's going to be very disappointing if it didn't. I'm going to end the video on that note. If you stuck to the end, I appreciate it. And as always, I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.